They shut down the East Wing of St. Dymphna Hospital 3 years ago. Officially, it was because of water damage, mold, electrical failures. That's the story they gave the public. But nurses who worked night shift tell a different story. A story about a mirror in the break room. A mirror nobody was allowed to look into after 3:14 a.m. Because according to hospital records, the last nurse who broke that rule never actually left the building. And after what happened last night, I don't think she ever will. I started working security at St. Dymphna in February. Night shift. Midnight to 8 a.m. The kind of job where nothing happens for 6 straight hours. Until something does. The hospital was old, built in the late 60s. Most of the upper floors had been renovated over the years, but the east wings still looked untouched. Long yellow hallways, flickering fluorescent lights, paint peeling behind old patient room numbers. The staff hated walking through it, especially at night. On my third shift, one of the nurses handed me a flashlight before rounds. She looked exhausted, like she hadn't slept in days. And before I left, she told me something strange. She said, "Whatever you hear over there, don't stop walking." I laughed, thought she was messing with the new guy. But she didn't laugh back. At exactly 3 a.m. every night, the East Wing became completely silent. No footsteps, no carts moving, no intercoms, nothing. Like the entire hospital was holding its breath. That's when I started hearing the scratching. Slow, rhythmic, like fingernails dragging across glass. Always coming from the break room at the end of the hallway. The same break room nobody used anymore. The same room with the mirror. A nurse named Valerie disappeared there in 2023. At least, officially, she quit. That's what administration said. But the staff told a different story. Valerie worked 3 consecutive night shifts in the East Wing. On the third night, another nurse found her standing alone inside the break room at 3:14 a.m., just staring into the mirror, not moving. The nurse called her name 3 times. No response. Then Valerie smiled. But according to the witness, the reflection smiled first. 1 second before Valerie did. The next morning, Valerie never came home. No resignation, no phone activity, no bank records. Nothing. But 2 days later, a patient recovering from surgery reported seeing a nurse standing inside their bathroom mirror, watching them, smiling. The patient identified Valerie from a staff photo. Administration blamed the medication. Then more reports started coming in. Different floors, different patients, always the same description. A nurse standing behind the reflection. Watching, waiting, smiling. That's when the East Wing was shut down, at least publicly. But every night at 3:14 a.m., security cameras still detected movement inside the break room, even when the wing was empty. Last Thursday, I was assigned to monitor the East Wing cameras alone. The rest of the security team avoided it. They always found excuses. Smoke breaks, bathroom trips, anything to stay away from that hallway after 3 a.m. At 3:12, camera E14 flickered. Static rolled across the screen. Then the break room lights turned on by themselves. The room was empty. At first. Then the mirror fogged over, from the inside, like someone was breathing behind the glass. I leaned closer to the monitor. That's when a handprint appeared. Not on the outside, inside the mirror. 5 long streaks dragging downward slowly. Then the camera glitched again. And for half a second, someone was standing in the room. A nurse. Dark scrubs, head tilted slightly sideways, face obscured by static. But I could still see the smile. The footage cut completely at 3:14 a.m. 3 seconds later, the radio on my desk crackled. Then a voice whispered, "East Wing, break room." I froze. The dispatcher never called me. The radio whispered again, "Look at the mirror." Then the line died. I should have stayed in the security office, I know that now. But curiosity is dangerous in places like that, especially after midnight. I took my flashlight and walked toward the East Wing. The hallway lights buzzed overhead. Every patient room was empty, every door slightly open. The scratching sound echoed through the corridor. Slow. Patient. Waiting. The farther I walked, the colder the hallway became. Then I noticed something strange. The clocks had stopped. Every single one. 3:14 a.m. I reached the break room door. The scratching stopped immediately. Silence. The kind of silence that makes your ears ring. My flashlight flickered once, then again. The mirror was mounted above the sink, old metal frame, covered in dark stains. And written across the glass in condensation were 4 words. "Don't look behind you." I didn't move, didn't breathe. Then I saw movement inside the mirror, not behind me, inside it. The reflection showed the hallway, but something was standing there. A nurse, tall, motionless, smiling too wide. And slowly, it began walking toward my reflection. Not toward me, toward the version of me inside the glass. I turned around. Nothing behind me. But inside the mirror, the nurse was inches away from my reflection now. Its mouth hanging open impossibly wide, like it was trying to crawl out through the glass. Then my reflection moved on its own. It smiled. I wasn't smiling. My reflection lifted one hand slowly and pointed behind me. That's when the scratching started again, directly at my back, close enough to feel breath against my neck. The lights went out. Complete darkness. I heard footsteps circling me slowly. Wet footsteps. Dragging footsteps. Then a whisper beside my ear. Soft, calm, familiar. "Now you know the rule." The lights came back on seconds later. The break room was empty. The mirror was cracked down the center, and my reflection was smiling. Even after I stopped. Hospital records show the East Wing remains permanently closed, but staff still report scratching sounds at exactly 3:14 a.m., especially near reflective surfaces. Last night, my bathroom mirror fogged over while I was brushing my teeth. 4 words appeared in the condensation. "Don't fall asleep tonight." And I live alone. This recording ends here, but the file doesn't.
If you thought that story was disturbing, wait until you hear what happened in this next one. Click the video on your screen now, and make sure you subscribe, because the next story might be even worse.